I started a sneaker collection with just a $20 bill, and I'm gonna buy, sell, and trade my way up to a pair of $20,000 Nike Mags. And you will not believe the sneakers that I find in today's episode. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and the way that this series works is that I go to thrift stores and flea markets and yard sales, wherever I have cheap sneakers. I buy as many pairs as I can, I give those shoes some TLC, and then I either resell them or keep them in my collection. And so far, I've built a pretty crazy collection filled with brand new Yeezys, Nike Dunks, Air Jordan 1s, and even a pair of Travis Scotts that we found at the thrift store. And at the end of last week's episode, we finished off the week with a sneaker collection fund of $232.54, as well as a bunch of sneakers to resell. So with all that being said, let's dive right into it. So the first stop of the week is Urban Exchange, which is a thrift store in Fishtown, Philadelphia. And the reason I stopped here is because I stopped here a couple weeks back, and you guys let me know that I actually missed out on a pair of sneakers that I really should have picked up. So I went back a couple weeks later hoping that they still had this pair of sneakers. I didn't have a lot of hope, but turns out they still had them. And that pair of shoes was a pair of Nike Kobe 9 EM Game Royal Silvers. I could not believe that they had these. I can't believe I missed them the first time around. And seemingly what was even crazier is that they had these listed for just $10 and somehow they were still here. Yes, they are a little bit worn. They definitely have some rubbing and I guess tearing on the sock liner, but other than that, the traction's in pretty good condition. The shoe itself is barely stained. It's a great looking pair of sneakers. It is a size 14, so a little bit harder to move, but for $10, not a bad pickup. And you guys have been asking me over the last couple of videos to show you guys what sneakers I'm wearing while copping sneakers, and today I was wearing the Mosh Runner Centralia. It's one of my favorite sneakers of the last year. And then after that, I decided to walk a couple blocks north to one of my favorite thrift stores in the city, Circle Thrift. Now, unfortunately, as you guys can see, there was not a lot of stock on the shelves today. I don't know if people just hadn't been donating a lot, or maybe they'd been cleared out over the last couple weeks because there was just a lot of really great stuff. I have no idea, I haven't been here in a while. There was, however, a couple decent running sneakers. In the past, I've grabbed a lot of pairs of Brooks, and that's a shoe that I think usually you can flip pretty easily. However, this silhouette I'm not too familiar with, so because of that, I decided to leave it for now because I just don't know what the resale is on it. There was also a pair of Youth Huaraches that I've never seen in this sort of like sunrise colorway. Definitely an interesting looking pair of sneakers, and for $10, not a bad price. But in the past, I just haven't had a lot of luck selling youth sneakers, so even though it was cheap, I decided to pass on it because I just didn't want to hold on to it for too long. Then after that, I found this pair of red New Balances that I kind of liked in this sort of faded suede. It was not a bad looking pair of sneakers, and for $10, definitely not a bad pickup, but I've seen this silhouette a lot around thrift stores and they don't really seem to move, so decided to leave that one. Of course, I had to check out the glass cases in the front of the store, and unfortunately, nothing. They do, however, have a pretty excellent electronics section. I always find crazy stuff, and today I actually found a PS1 game, which I don't often find, and that was Tony Hawk the Original in the Greatest Hits version, which I thought was pretty cool. Didn't pick it up, but still a nice find. Okay, so as you guys can tell, I just got a haircut. Shout out to Gents Barbershop in Fishtown. But of course, whenever I get a haircut, I gotta stop by the thrift stores in Fishtown. And the pair that I found today was actually a pair that you guys had told me that I missed in the last video. And I was like, you know what? I'll stop back into the same thrift store, see if they still had it. And somehow, they still had it. This pair of Kobe's. I cannot believe they have these. This is crazy. Now, they're not in the best condition. They're a little bit worn on the side, and they're size 14, so they're gonna be a little bit harder for me to flip because size 14s don't move that well. But they were priced at $10. I haven't found any other Kobe's other than these and the ones at ThriftCon. Both of them were like 20 or $10, so it's nuts how cheaply you can find Kobe's even though they're selling for so much. So I'm blown away by that. Other than the slight wear right there on the sock liner of the shoe, they're in pretty decent condition. So really happy with that pickup, kind of blown away. So this week we had a lot of sneakers sell. In fact, it was like 5 pairs of sneakers and they all sold within a period of like 2 hours. To be fair, a lot of them were great Air Jordans that were in awesome condition, but it was still pretty fast. So I guess to run down the list of all the sneakers that sold, let's start out with that pair of Wing It Air Jordan 2s. So we picked up that pair last week for just $36 at Buffalo Exchange, which still blows my mind. It's a crazy pair of sneakers, and they ended up selling on eBay for $100. So because the buyer paid for shipping and this shoe was also part of eBay's authenticity guarantee, we didn't have to pay any fees, and we actually ended up making a little bit of extra money. So after all was said and done, we were able to add $103.95 back into the sneaker collection fund. And subtracting the original purchase price from that amount, $36, we ended up with a net profit of $67.95, which is almost tripling our money. Next up, we had the Air Jordan 4 Pure Moneys that we picked up at Plato's Closet a couple weeks back for 45 bucks. So we ended up selling those for $120 on eBay, and again, because of the authenticity guarantee and the buyer paying for shipping, we made a couple extra bucks. So because of that, we were able to add $123.94 back into the sneaker collection fund. And to figure out what the net profit was, we subtracted the original purchase price of $45 and ended up with a net profit of $78.94. I think the pretty obvious takeaway from this is that Air Jordan sneakers tend to make good money, and they're also pretty easy to find at thrift stores, so buy up as many pairs as you can. After that, we had the pair of Ultra Boost 1.0s that we had picked up from Goodwill for just 15 bucks. They ended up selling for 30 bucks, and after fees and shipping, we were able to add $25.41 back into the sneaker collection fund, giving us a net profit of $10.41. Next up were the Air Jordan 8s that we bought at Buffalo Exchange last week for 58 bucks. Sold those for $110, and again, because they were over $100, they were part of eBay's authentication guarantee, which means no fees, and because of that, we were able to add $113.77 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with a net profit of $55.77, almost doubling our money. And then finally, we had that pair of Air Jordan 3 Customs, made to look like white cement 3s, but were really Katrina 3s, whole big thing. I bought them at Buffalo Exchange for 80 bucks, and I listed them as custom sneakers, and even though they were still customs of white cement 3s, people were still really excited about them, and they ended up selling for $125 on eBay. And because of that, we were able to add $127.54 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with a net profit of $47.54. So the total amount we were able to add back into the sneaker collection fund after selling all of those sneakers was $494.61, meaning that we have a sneaker collection fund of $617.15, which I think is the most we've ever had in the middle of an episode before. It's kind of nuts. Oh, and in case you were interested, the total net profit from all of those sales was $260.61. But hey, let's go shopping again and try and find some even crazier deals. So I was in the city this week and I decided to hit up one of my favorite sneaker stores, Atmos, formerly Ubik on Walnut Street. And the reason I like this store so much is because they always have a lot of stuff in stock. As you guys can see, they have tons of pairs of Yeezys available. In addition to that, they also have a pretty decent sales section, and I make sure to always go through their sneakers on sale just to see if there's anything worth picking up to resell. Today was a lot of pairs of Vans and Converses. There were some women's Air Jordans available. I think stuff that we've actually seen a couple times in the past, these same sneakers. For some reason, they're not moving. They haven't really dropped down the price much since I've been here last time, so I don't really think they have much resale value at all. But what really got me were the sneakers that they had in the window that they had a couple sizes of. And the first pair was this pair of Air Jordan 5s in the sort of shattered backboard colorway. It's not a shoe that I like personally, and unfortunately it's not a shoe that really has much resale value, but it was nice to see it in store. If you wanted to maybe grab a pair for retail, you could. In addition to that, they had the YEEZY 700 MNVNs in the Honey Flux colorway, which I actually had not seen sitting anywhere else, so I was pretty surprised to see these. The yellow is a pretty clean look, but it's not really a shoe that I need or is reselling, so for that reason, decided to leave it. So the next day, I stopped by my go-to, and that's Plato's Closet. And the good news was, I went right when they opened, and it seemed like they had just restocked all the shelves, and so there was tons of sneakers available. I even checked the fashion bin, but it looked like all the sneakers from the fashion bin had been put out on shelves, so it seems like they were very well stocked up. So the first shoe that I found and checked out was this pair of women's Air Jordan 1 mids in the all-white colorway. And although this pair is an Air Jordan 1 and would probably move pretty quickly, it was priced very poorly at 40 bucks, which is exactly what it goes for on eBay, so unfortunately, had to leave that one for now. After that, I stumbled across a pair of Air Max 270 Reacts in this black and gray colorway, and personally, I think this is one of the best colorways that they've dropped. However, with the price they were asking, which was $20, which wasn't bad, but it was more than I was willing to spend on this shoe because I think that I could only make around $30 to $40. The next shoe that really caught my eye was this black and silver pair of Reebok Answer 5s from one of the greatest players of all time, Allen Iverson. I'm a huge Iverson fan, and for some reason, I've been finding a lot of Allen Iverson sneakers at Plato's Closet in Buffalo Exchange. I wonder if someone's going around the city just dumping his collection, but it's honestly a great looking pair of sneakers. It was in my size 9, so I was really considering keeping it, and surprisingly, it was priced pretty fairly at 35 bucks. Not cheap, but also not too expensive, and we can make a profit if we decide to flip these. Then, right next to Allen Iverson's Answer 5s, we had a shoe from another incredibly famous and talented basketball player, Patrick Ewing. So this shoe came in the Knicks colorway and obviously was a Ewing high top. I don't really know much about Ewing high tops at all. In fact, I don't know what their resale value is. And I checked on eBay and there wasn't really too much information either. You could either find pairs brand new for around 100 bucks or used pairs for like 20 or 30. It just kind of varied depending on the quality of the sneaker. Unfortunately, this shoe was just priced too high for me. I think it was like 55 bucks, so I wasn't willing to take the risk. Then I came across this pair of Adidas Forum highs or mids. I'm not sure exactly which one one it was, in this snakeskin makeup. And I've got to say, it was actually a very clean colorway. This sort of off-white color with the gray definitely looked solid. Now, I don't know much about the snakeskin colorway, or I guess material of this shoe. I've never seen this version of the sneaker before. I was checking comps on eBay, and they, again, are all over the board between like $40 and $140. I didn't know what exactly I was in for, but they were priced pretty well, so I decided to grab them. Some other notable finds was this pair of Converse cashmeres in incredibly good condition. I was really surprised to see these. I think they were priced around 20 or 30 bucks, so I didn't pick them up just because I wasn't sure exactly how they do, but nice looking sneaker nonetheless. And then right next to those, there was this pair of ponies that looked a lot like a pair of Band Air Jordan 1s. Very, very similar vibe. Nice looking shoe, honestly, but not something I wanted to grab, and the resale wasn't great. And then we had the find of the day. I could not believe I saw these. So this was a pair of Nike Dunk Highs, and I didn't actually know exactly what shoe this was until I checked it out on eBay. Turns out it's a pair of 2007 Nike Dunk High Santanas. Now, to be fair, this shoe was priced pretty high at 55 bucks, so it wasn't a cheap pickup, but I knew because it was a pair of Nike Dunk Highs, it would probably move pretty well. And after checking comparable listings on eBay, it goes for between $150 and like $500 depending on the condition of the shoe. Now, unfortunately, this shoe is worn, so it's not in the best condition in the world, but it's still a great looking pair of sneakers, and we can still definitely make some money on this shoe, especially if it's going for $150 on the low end. So pricey, yes, but definitely worth the risk, because 55 bucks with the potential to make at least 150 is definitely a solid pickup. And today, as you can see, I wore my 2020 Kobe 6 Grinches. Man, so Plato's Closet came through today. We got 3 different pairs of sneakers that I'm all pretty happy with. The first pair is this Adidas Forum High in this snakeskin material. I guess I can't really call it a colorway. It seems to be basically brand new, maybe worn once by the dirt on the outsole. 35 bucks. The one thing that kind of makes me nervous about these is that I paid a decent amount for them, 35 bucks before the discount, which I'll tell you about later. And I don't know, there's one listing on eBay for $100, but none of them have sold. So I'm gonna list it around there and see what happens. Hopefully we can move it for something. Hopefully I don't lose any money on that. So although I think it's a great looking sneaker, there's just not a lot of market for that apparently. Next up, we've got the Answer 5s, the Allen Iverson Reebok Answer 5s in this OG black and silver colorway. So this shoe was priced at 35 bucks. It's in my size too, a size 9. In fact, all of the sneakers that we picked up today I could actually wear, which is crazy. This shoe is in almost brand new condition. The outsole is maybe worn once. The insole still has all its printing on it, and it's also still got the paper in the shoe. So although it's been worn once, it's basically brand new, which is crazy. I think these sell for maybe 70 to 80, hopefully more than that because it's newer. So hopefully we'll make our money back on this. If not, I'll just keep it because I love the shoe and it's my size. Shout out AI. And then the final shoe that we picked up, the surprise of the day, was this pair of Nike Dunk Highs. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this colorway is. I did look it up on eBay and showed you guys the comparable listings. There was only 2 listings for this shoe on eBay, and they're both priced at, I think, between 150 to 300. So there's a pretty wide range for this. Plus, the shoe is pretty worn, so I don't think I'm going to get 150 for it. I think I might get maybe like 100, 120. It was priced at 55, so it wasn't cheap, but I had to pick up a pair of Dunks that I found at the thrift store. Like, when do you find Dunks at the thrift store, or I guess at Plato's Closet? Can't believe I found Dunks. I didn't see that before. So there's a little bit of midsole damage right there. But still, can't believe I found Dunks, especially when they're as hot as they are right now. I might try and fix that. Dang, I didn't see that in store. Well, it is what it is. I still would have bought them. But the good news is I got 20% off my entire purchase because I've been building up Plato's Closet points, and I was able to use them today. And so I got my purchase down to just $100 because I took 20% off my original purchase price. And I'm gonna be honest, my math is terrible, so I don't know what that was. So I think my original purchase price was around $125. I got it down to $100. So $100 for all of these sneakers is pretty impressive. I'm like really stoked on that. So not a bad day at Plato's, really not a bad day at all. So apparently my camera zoomed in on me for no reason, but really happy with my pickups at Plato's. For $100, even if just one of these sells, we pretty much have made back our money, which is kind of crazy. So the next stop was Buffalo Exchange on Chestnut Street in Philadelphia. And this has quickly become one of my favorite spots, if not my favorite spot to grab sneakers, because there's always something available. I don't think I've ever walked out of this store once without finding something. And the first pair that kind of caught my eye was this pair of KDs. So I think this one is sort of a mid-range one. I'm not really too familiar with the mid-range KDs or what the name of this sneaker is, but make sure to let me know in the comments section down below. After that, I found this pair of Adidas Spring Blades, which is a shoe that I never see in the wild, and I'm actually doing a video on this shoe in particular in a couple days, so make sure to stay tuned for that and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. But because I was filming this video, I actually had bought a pair of these on eBay for like 60 bucks, and they were in awful condition, and then I saw this pair in really great condition, albeit a slightly bigger size, for like 30 bucks at Buffalo Exchange. So I decided to grab these for myself and not as part of the $20 sneaker collection. Then immediately after that, I found this pair of alternate Air Jordan 8s from 2017. This is a pair that I really haven't seen too often in the wild. In fact, I've never seen this pair in the wild, but I very rarely see it at consignment stores and places like that. So the fact that they actually had these was pretty great. Now they were worn and they had a little bit of a cigarette smell, which is kind of a bummer and happens from time to time, but a definite pickup for me nonetheless. Next up was this pair of Nike Joyrides, a shoe that never really took off and had beads in the midsole. It was a very weird concept. I did a bunch of videos on these when they first came out. They were incredibly overhyped. They were not that comfortable, and as you guys can see, there's a ton of heel drag, and when the shoe wears all the way through, the beads will fall out and the shoe will be useless. So definitely not a pickup for today, and probably not ever. Just after that, I found this pair of gray Air Jordan Futures. Now this is a shoe that's sort of based on the Air Jordan 11's midsole and outsole, but it features a woven or knit upper. It's definitely a weird lifestyle sneaker that never really took off the way that I think Jordan brand wanted. The first couple colorways of this shoe were like glow in the dark and reflective, and they sold out pretty quickly, but nothing really after that. And honestly, this gray and red colorway was nothing special, so it was definitely a shoe that I would leave. But then I saw it, and it was this pair of Adidas YEEZY 350 V2 Boost Yeez Reels, a shoe that when it first came out, I didn't love it, and to be honest with you, I still don't love it. It's one of my least favorite pairs of YEEZY 350 V2s, but after that first time going to Buffalo Exchange and missing out on the pair of 350 V2 Zebras, I had to grab it because I needed to grab a pair of 350 V2s from a thrift store, and I finally did it. I was so stoked on these. They were priced a little bit high at 125 bucks, especially since they are pretty worn. They're definitely not worn out. They have some heel drag and they could definitely use some cleaning, but they're still in pretty good condition, and honestly, I think I can get maybe like 180 to 200 bucks for them. No, it's not exactly the amount that I would want to grab for a pair of Yeezys, but it's something, and I can finally say that I grabbed a pair of Yeezys. So maybe it's an ego thing, I don't know what it is, but I definitely had to pick up this pair of shoes. And in case you were wondering, I finished off the week wearing the Mosh Centralias once again. So the last couple minutes have been crazy. Some of the craziest couple minutes I've had in this series, and that's because I finally got a pair of YEEZY 350s at a thrift store. It took forever, it took months, but it finally happened. I gotta thank my friend Matthew from Buffalo Exchange, just let me know that they were there and that I should come through quickly, because last time I was there, they sold right in front of me. There was nothing I could do, and it sucked. But now I got them. But before I show you those Yeezys, let me show you some of the other pickups that we had. The first is this pair of Adidas Spring Blades. Now this is not actually something that I bought for this series. I bought this for a different video that I'm doing, but I've had so much trouble finding pairs of these just in the wild that I had to grab it, because this shoe came out in 2015, 2016, and just no one wants it, so it's really difficult to find. So got these for myself, not part of the series. The other shoe that I got that was a total surprise to me, just a spur of the moment thing, I saw them and I was like, gotta have those, was this pair of Air Jordan 8 alternates in a size 10.5, 61 bucks, not a bad price. I was looking on eBay, these don't go for like a huge amount of money, but they do go for more than I bought them for, so figured it was probably worth it. In pretty decent condition, really stoked on that. And then of course, the final thing that we picked up was this pair of Adidas YEEZY 350 Yeez Reels, I think is what these are called. There's so many 350s, I don't know what this one's called, but I think it's a Yeez Reel. They were priced at 125 bucks, which is crazy. They are, however, unfortunately pretty worn. There's definitely some heel drag. There's definitely some wear and tear on the front of the shoe and around the prime knit upper. Now, I know a lot of people will be questioning whether these are authentic or not. I can tell you from my personal experience, I think that these are, based on the things that I know about Yeezys. And again, if I sell these on eBay or wherever I sell these, they will go through authentication there, so that whoever gets these will be getting authentic sneakers or nothing at all. So I'm not too worried about it. I really think that they are legit based on what I'm looking at. Actually, on that, a lot of people have been saying that Buffalo Exchange and Plato's Closet aren't thrift stores, which I can understand why you're saying that. People have been saying they're consignment stores, which is not the case, because they don't hold things for other people and then sell them and then pay those people. What they do is they buy some things from people who come in and they resell those things at a higher markup. So it's used stuff and we're thrifting it. So it's a secondhand store, thrift store style thing. I understand that it's not like a Goodwill, but it is still a thrift store. So there's that. I just want to put that out there. But now I'm gonna head home, clean up some of these sneakers and list a bunch of them. Hopefully we'll sell some of them. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys a quick overview of the entire sneaker collection up to this point, just because I felt like that would be kind of an interesting thing to do. As you can see, we still have a lot of the sneakers from a little while back. Most notably this pair of Vans that we picked up for like $3 at a yard sale, I don't know, like a month ago. We've also got these DMS X's, I forget exactly what they're called. We've got the Adidas's that we just picked up, the Reebok Allen Iversons, the Yeezy Boys, love these, the Kobe's, the Air Jordan 8s, and of course the Nike Dunks. Still can't believe I found these. These are crazy. The left shoe, or I guess the right shoe, is in really great condition, but the left shoe has a little bit of cracking on the midsole. It's nothing crazy. It's definitely something that I could fix, and it won't really affect the wear of this shoe, but it's something that is kind of a bummer. Of course, we've got the new section of this collection, which are all the sneakers that I got brand new, like the Aimé Leon Dore New Balance 550s, which I bought for like $300. I've got the Nike Dunks that I got off the sneakers app for retail, keeping those because they're my size. And then again with the YEEZY Foam Runner Ochres, we got those off the Adidas Confirmed app. All of this was bought with $20 sneaker collection money, but the two standouts that really get me are the Air Jordan 1 Hyper Royals that we picked up for, I think, I don't know, like 80 something, 100 something, I don't remember, but that was from Buffalo Exchange. And then also the Travis Scott 6s, also from Buffalo Exchange. Still blown away that we have these, kind of can't believe it. And I'm actually considering listing both of these because I can't wear them, and it's something that I felt like we could at least make some money off of. So I think I'm probably going to list these. Not 100% sure about these yet, because I feel like that's a cool addition to the collection, but definitely listing everything else. So if you guys want to grab anything from this collection, there are links to my eBay store in the description below. So now that you've seen the collection, we're ending off this week's episode with the sneaker collection fund of $431.15. That pretty much wraps up episode 19 for this week. I would love to know your thoughts on this episode and how we can improve moving forward, so make sure to let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and follow me on all social media at Real Seth Fowler, and I'll see you all in the next one.